Proposals. So why do we write proposals and what are their benefits? We typically write a proposal because to show a plan, to ask for permission to do a thing. We want to do some kind of project, and a proposal shows that we've thought about this project and we know what it's going to take to put this project together and that we're prepared for it. And then we wait for approval from that. So when we want to embark on a project, we typically just can't start doing it. We know that there are going to be resources needed to complete this project. So in the workplace, typically your superiors want to know what it's going to take and what your plan is to finish this project. A writing project in college is a little bit like that in the fact that it's going to take you some time, it's going to take you some other resources, such as research, in order to finish this project. So your professors want to know what it's going to take. When you write up a proposal, you want to show that you've already started some research, you know that there's research available, you have a researchable idea. You've thought that idea out, that it's been brainstormed, and you have a specific topic that you want to work with, and that you've thought about the timeline, that you know what kind of time it's going to take and what kind of increments of time you're going to use. And that doesn't mean the due date, because that's pretty simple just to give a due date. Well, this is when it's due, but break it down even more than that. Um, how long is it going to take you to start your research? How long is it going to take to get the project written? How long is it going to take to conduct interviews if that's part of that? So just that overall idea, that overall timeline of how you're going to put all of this together. Putting a date on it can be very helpful. So it shows that you've got a plan and you want to get that plan approved. So breaking it down, when you start talking about research, you want to give some research questions. Those research questions guide you to find the research that you need to complete the project. Research questions like, what is the current situation of the topic I'm working on? Who is using maybe a specific tool or a specific plan? How successful is it? Um, what is what is, how many different programs are there or different tools are there, whatever it might be. So those questions shouldn't be yes or no answers. They should be questions that will guide you to find the research that you need. When you're using research in college, you should use academic journal articles that are found on databases like EBSCOhost, and you can go to the library to find those databases. But you also might want to do some commercial research. Make sure all that research is credible, so evaluate your sources. And you might even want to do some primary research, which might be interviews or observations, maybe surveys or questionnaires that can all be used as research too. When you're putting your proposal together, you should show that you're aware that there is research available, and you should also mention what type of research you plan to use and give a few sources for that. In addition to the research of your proposal, including those research questions, including the timeline that you plan on using, you want to give any other information, talk about your topic, be specific about your topic, and give some points, some of the points that you plan to discuss in your paper, and show how that kind of is going to be an outline of what you're going to do. So even if you don't submit a complete outline, you should still have some ideas of what you're going to talk about in your paper. You'll put all of that in a proposal. So you're basically saying, this is what I plan to do, to give me permission to go forward with it. And then you'll wait for that permission. Oftentimes you'll, get approved, but you might be given some ideas of how you might want to proceed. If the proposal is not approved, you'll be told why it wasn't approved and maybe what you can do to resubmit that proposal. Excuse me. Um, so, feedback is going to be very important on a proposal too. In the workplace, you may not get a lot of feedback, but hopefully you will, and you might want to ask for more feedback with that too. So, as you're writing a proposal, think of your audience, which you always think of whenever you're writing anything. What does this person need to know to approve what I want to do? So a proposal is very helpful to your audience, but a proposal can also be very helpful to you as the writer because it kind of lays out a plan for you. And if you start with a really solid plan, the project's going to go a little smoother, maybe a lot smoother because you've thought it through and you have some ideas of what you're going to do with it. So put a lot of work into your proposal. The better the proposal, the more likely it is to get approved, and the easier it will be for you to put your project together.